What's up, you guys? My name's Ian Kenrick. Thanks for joining me today on episode 4 of Eye on Motive. As you might have noticed from the title, today I'm going to be talking about how you can achieve that dream of yours that you've always wanted to achieve, how we can take the proper steps, why you need to get going on this goal, on this dream, on this vision right now so you can achieve it, so you can live and do the things you really want to do and were made to do. Before we get started, I want to thank you for taking the time out of your day to watch or listen to this episode. It really means so much to me, and I really appreciate everybody who's texted me saying they find this valuable or that they loved the first couple episodes. That makes me want to keep going, and I really appreciate it. So, with that being said, let's dive into this. Everybody has that one dream, goal, or vision that keeps them awake at night. That if they could do it, that would be the perfect life. That would be the epitome of happiness for them. That's what they really want to do. But oftentimes, I think people, including myself, don't start working towards their goal, their dream, their vision, whatever it is, because it seems so lofty. It seems so far away, so difficult to achieve. People say things like, oh, if I could do this, or I would absolutely love to do this, but then never actually work to attaining that goal. But the thing is, whatever it is, you can attain it, you can achieve it, you can do it, you can do that thing you've always wanted to do, the thing that is constantly running through your mind. It can be yours. But it's essential that you start working towards it as soon as possible. There's no reason to delay. The earlier you can get started, the better. By the way, if you're listening to this on podcast, that's perfect, that's okay. But you might want to check this video out on YouTube because I'm about to start using the whiteboard here very shortly. So if you're listening to this, great. Might be a good one to check out later in video form as well. So let's talk about how you can make this happen. Now, the first step is envisioning what it is you want. This needs to be specific, it needs to be clear, it needs to be measurable. Whatever it is, make sure it's specific. So you can actually work towards something. If it's kind of vague, it's going to be hard to do that because you're not going to really know where to go. But if it is specific, you can figure out the path to attain that goal. I'm going to be using the whiteboard today to work through a personal example of mine and show you how I do this process. So, for me, right now, the thing I'm currently wanting to work towards is growing my Eye on Motive page. But just saying growing it is a little vague. So what specifically do I want to do with this page? I want to help people's mental health and help motivate people. Really the two big reasons why I started this. So I'm gonna put it up here at the top of the whiteboard. I've got really bad handwriting, so I apologize. So help mental health and motivate. So now that I've got something to work towards, something specific, I can do the next step, which is creating the path to get to the goal. Draw the path. Probably shouldn't even be that straight, right? It should be kind of a curved line with back and forth because of failures, things like that. This goal seemed really difficult to achieve at first, but as I began to work on this page, I kind of figured out this process. The next thing I have to do is identify some of the key first steps. Because if I do that, it'll give me clarity to the next step, and the next step, until I work my way to the very top. So, when I started my page, the first thing I wanted to do was post on social media, specifically Facebook and Instagram, in order to figure out what I wanted to talk about and just get comfortable with the things I was posting. So, my very first step I took was social media. From here, I wanted to create podcasts and video formats. So now that I had taken this first step, gotten a little more comfortable with what I was doing, I could go to the next step, which is podcasts/videos. Okay. I didn't really know the next step after that. Had I never started this process, I probably would have never known the third step. But by creating my social media, posting on those pages, posting a couple podcasts and videos, I soon realized, okay, I need a website. I need a platform where everybody can access my content, all of it, from one single site. So my next step was creating a website. But had I never done that, had I never taken the first few steps, I would never have had the clarity to realize that making a website was my third step. And that's really what all this is about. You need to start, whatever it is, working towards your dream, because taking the first few steps will give you clarity to the next one and the next one and the next thing you need to achieve. The next step you need to take. Also, working through this process gives you clarity as to what you don't need to do. So originally when I first had the idea of this page, I wanted to create graphic tees. I love wearing graphic tees, got a bunch of Star Wars ones, things like that. But I'm not at that point in the business or this hobby, this goal to sell t-shirts, right? I've only just started. And it wouldn't make sense. That would be kind of detrimental to my growth. I need to focus on expanding before I do that. So as I've worked through this process, it's given me clarity to the next steps I need to take, and also steps that I can wait to take. So creating the shirts is probably somewhere up here as I grow my following. So for now, selling shirts can be put on hold off to the side. So on hold. Working through this process has also made it clear as to what I can just sacrifice altogether. As I started working on Ion Motive, I had all these big overwhelming ideas, right? I needed a really nice camera. I needed a better laptop so I could edit videos better. I needed all these crazy expensive things that when I actually started taking the first few steps, I realized, oh, that would be a little bit excessive. So I can just sacrifice the expensive computer altogether. It doesn't really bring me any value at the moment. So sacrifice. It's not really necessary for me to have this computer. Maybe later I can use this for marketing, investing the money back into the business, whatever it is. I now know the next step I have to take is working on things like SEO and marketing my website to make it more useful and effective. So we'll say SEO/market. To reiterate one more time, had I never posted on social media and created the podcasts and videos, I would have never known to create the website and then from there SEO and market. But because I started here, I figured out the next step and the next step and the next step. And I can just keep working through this process until I get to the point where I want to be. And then I can keep going. I still have miles to go with this page. I want to keep growing it. I'm nowhere near where I want to be. But because I've started, I might have miles to go, but I'm leaps and bounds from where I came from. It is essential that you start. You will learn so much and figure out so much along the way, become more confident, and become much more understanding in what you have to do to achieve that huge goal of yours. Think of it kind of like a fog. You got to get to the other side of the path, but you can't see where to go. The fog covering the path to your dreams will fade as you begin to walk through it. You will probably also learn that working towards your goal is much more of a process and probably going to take much longer than you originally anticipated. But that's okay. If you really love it and you're really passionate about it, just enjoy doing it. That won't bother you. I know I've got a lot more to do, but I'm having fun doing it, and I'm willing to keep working through this process, gain more clarity as I go, and keep working towards achieving this dream. I'm going to throw in a quote here for you. I have no idea who said this, and I can't figure out who. But the quote, I'm going to read it word for word just so I don't mess it up. The best time to start was yesterday. The next best time is now. To wrap it up, put it simply in one neat little sentence, you need to start working on your goal today, because taking the first few steps will give you clarity as to what the next step is, and then the next step, and the next step, and eventually you will achieve that goal. That wasn't actually a very neat, tidy little sentence, but you get the point. I really hope this provided you with some value. I can't thank you enough for taking the time out of your day to watch or listen to this. It would be awesome if you could hit the like button on YouTube and share this with a friend who would find it valuable as well. More content will be coming out soon. If you don't follow me on social media, go check out my Facebook and Instagram at Ion Motive. Podcasts as well, Ion Motive on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google, and Stitcher, and YouTube at Ion Motive once again. Until next time, have a great day. Live a charged life, because that's the Ion Motive.